It was a gray Tuesday afternoon in the quiet farmlands of rural Ohio, the kind of day when the clouds seemed to press down on the earth, heavy and unbroken. On Route 58, the faint aroma of fried chicken drifted into the air from a small Kentucky Fried Chicken. Inside, the place buzzed with its usual rhythm orders being shouted, fryers hissing, and customers lining up for lunch behind the counter. 27-year-old Maya Carter, the manager of the store, moved with the practiced energy of someone who had long since grown used to juggling too many responsibilities at once. She was training a nervous new cashier, answering a call from a delivery supplier who was running late yet again, and keeping an eye on the dining room all at the same time. Her warm smile was something the locals had come to know and rely on, a small comfort in their daily routine. But behind that smile lived a storm of burdens Maya rarely shared. Bills stacked high at home, her younger brother's college tuition looming, and her mother still recovering from surgery. Maya never let the weight show. Complaining wasn't an option. Each day was a quiet battle fought with resilience, even if exhaustion lingered in her bones. At exactly 1:32 p.m., the store's glass door swung open. Two men in dark suits stepped in, their eyes scanning the room with quiet intensity. And then, right behind them, unmistakable as a face on a coin, walked Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. The entire restaurant froze. Even the fryer's steady crackle seemed to pause. Customers stared in disbelief, some whispering to each other while others scrambled for their phones to capture the surreal moment. Maya blinked hard, half convinced her lack of sleep was making her hallucinate. But no, it was real. Trump was right there, removing his red "Make America Great Again" cap and stepping up to the counter as casually as if he were any other customer stopping in for lunch. With his trademark smile, he ordered a bucket of original recipe chicken, mashed potatoes, and biscuits. Maya's hands trembled slightly as she rang him up. She had never met a president before, let alone served one fried chicken. She forced herself to stay composed, sliding him the receipt while the Secret Service watched her every move. But her thoughts weren't on the celebrity standing in front of her. They were on something hidden deep in the pocket of her apron, a folded note she had written weeks ago. It wasn't political. It wasn't even really about herself. It was about her people, her employees, the teenagers earning minimum wage while balancing school, the single mom pulling double shifts just to cover rent, the elderly dishwasher whose Social Security check barely kept him afloat. The note was simple, written late one night after closing. It said, "Sir, I'm not asking for money. I'm asking for attention, for people to notice the quiet struggles of those who work hard but can't get ahead. We smile, but many of us are drowning." Now, standing before the most powerful man in the country, Maya felt a surge of courage rising inside her chest. She had two choices: let the moment pass or risk everything by slipping him the note. The Secret Service agent near the register eyed her hands. Maya hesitated too long as she tucked the receipt into the bag. Trump noticed and raised an eyebrow. "Everything okay?" he asked, his tone surprisingly casual. Maya forced a faint smile. "Sir, just making sure everything's perfect for you." Her hand brushed against the folded paper in her apron, but she couldn't bring herself to pull it out. Not yet. For the next few minutes, she served other customers while Trump stood to the side waiting for his order. Her assistant manager, Sam, leaned over and whispered, "You okay? You look pale." Maya just nodded. Inside, her heart was pounding. What's the worst that could happen? She asked herself. He could ignore it. He could throw it away. Or maybe, just maybe, he might actually read it. When Trump finally picked up his food and began heading for the door, panic seized her chest. This was it. "The window was closing, Mr. President," she called out, louder than she intended. The room went silent. Trump stopped, turning toward her with a faint look of surprise. Maya stepped out from behind the counter, the folded note clutched in her trembling hand. "I know you're busy," she said, her voice shaking, "but I wrote something. It's important to me, and to a lot of people I work with. The agents tensed, ready to step in, but Trump lifted a hand, signaling them to stand down. He reached out and took the paper without hesitation. "I'll read it," Quay said simply, giving her a nod before walking out. Maya stood frozen, her heart racing. She didn't know if she had just made the boldest move of her life or the biggest mistake. That night, sleep never came. She lay awake, replaying the scene over and over, worrying whether the note had come across wrong. Meanwhile, social media had already exploded. A customer's video of her handing the president a folded piece of paper was everywhere on Twitter. TikTok, news sites, sparking endless speculation. At 1:04 a.m., Sam texted, "You're all over the internet. You okay?" Maya typed back, "I don't know yet." Her mother, still recovering from surgery, called the next morning. "Maya, honey, did you just talk to the president yesterday?" "Yes, Mom." Her mom chuckled. "Well, make sure you tell him to fix gas prices." While he's at it, Maya laughed softly, though inside she knew her note had been about something much deeper than gas prices. It was about people who lived invisible lives in the national conversation. For 2 days, silence. And then, during inventory in the storage room, her phone buzzed. The caller ID showed a Washington, D.C. number. Her stomach dropped. "Hello," she answered, voice unsteady. Double quotes, "Ms. Carter." A deep voice replied, "This is Mark Delaney, Special Assistant to the President." "The President? Read your note. He'd like to meet with you." Maya nearly dropped her phone. "Are you sure you have the right person?" "Yes, ma'am. We'll send transportation tomorrow morning." "The president would like to visit your KFC personally." She hung up in a daze. Sam nearly dropped a box of fries when she told him. "Maya, this is insane. Do you know what this could mean by morning? The store had been scrubbed spotless." Every employee was on edge. Then the black SUVs rolled in. Secret Service agents fanned out, and in walked Trump, smiling as though he were visiting an old friend. "Maya," he said warmly, shaking her hand. "You've got a good place here. Smells great." He sat in a booth while cameras flashed from a distance. Trump pulled out the folded note from his pocket. "I've been carrying this since Tuesday. You didn't just complain, you told a story." Maya swallowed hard. "It's not just my story. It's my team's. People think we're fine because we have jobs. But between rent, medical bills, and debt, a paycheck disappears fast." Trump listened quietly, asking questions about wages, hours, and benefits. Maya surprised herself with how much confidence she had. Realizing she had been preparing for this moment for years without knowing it, listening to her staff, sharing in their struggles. Before leaving, Trump said, "Can I come back tomorrow?" No cameras. Maya blinked. "Of course. But why?" "Because I want to meet everyone properly." The next day, he returned without the press. He shook hands with every employee: Linda, the 52-year-old grandmother working the fry station; Carlos, the teenager saving for college; Kay, and Mr. Bennett, the elderly dishwasher who still took the bus every day. He asked each of them about their lives, not just their jobs. Maya watched, stunned. This wasn't for show. He was listening. When Trump left, he told her, "I can't promise miracles, but I won't forget what I saw here." A week later, rumors swirled about a government program aimed at food service workers. Maya didn't know what to believe until a letter arrived. In Trump's own handwriting, it said, "Maya, your note reminded me that real change starts with listening. I'm working on something that might help not just your store, but thousands like it. Keep doing what you're doing. I'll be in touch." Her chest swelled. She had been the spark. Weeks later, Trump called her on stage at a rally. Standing beside him, Maya listened as he told the crowd, "She reminded me of something important. The people who keep America running aren't just in offices. They're right here, behind counters, over hot fryers, smiling while carrying heavy burdens." The crowd roared. And then he announced a new pilot program for expanded healthcare benefits and tax credits for small business employees in food service. It wasn't everything, but it was a start. Some criticized her online. Others accused her of seeking attention. But Maya held her head high. She hadn't done this for fame, she had done it for her team. And when Mr. Bennett came to her one night, his voice trembling to say the program had finally allowed him to see a doctor who discovered dangerously high blood pressure, she realized the truth. Because of that note, he whispered, "I might get to see my grandkids grow up." Maya nearly cried. That was when she understood this was never about politics. It was about people. Years later, as regional manager overseeing multiple stores, she kept the framed copy of her note in her office. Young employees would ask about it, and she would tell the story not of fame, but of courage. You never know how far your voice can reach, she always told them. But you'll never find out unless you use it.